chef, you've got a lot of ingredients. What's going on? What are you making now?
Well, I'm going to make quinoa with grilled vegetables.
What's quinoa?
Quinoa is a grain, and it is probably one of the healthiest, if not the healthiest grain. It's gained a lot of popularity recently because of that, because it is such a healthy grain. The reason it's healthy is it is one of the only grains that contains essential amino acids that your body needs to metabolize to help your muscles grow. No fat. The way I prepare it will be a little bit of oil. Here's quinoa right here. This is the quinoa grain. Now there are a couple of types of quinoa. There's also a red quinoa. Looks identical to this, only as is red in color. This is a regular quinoa. You can see they're like tiny little pearls. They're really small. And when you cook these, you cook it just like rice. A couple of cups of water and a cup of quinoa. And that's it. You put a little salt in there to get some flavor. And what happens is that quinoa, it's a little bland. There's not a ton of flavor there. There's a natural little nuttiness to it. But what I do, I take the quinoa and I toast it. You can see a little difference here. This is a little darker. But what I do is I take a saute pan with a little bit of the garlic-infused olive oil that I have, and I'll toast the quinoa. What that does is bring out a nutty flavor, gives it a little more richness, and just gives it another dimension to the dish. So you don't have a bland quinoa, you've got now a nutty quinoa. In fact, you can eat this. I like to, you can sprinkle it right on salads. I love to put it just like that, toasted on top of salads. It's
That's
crunchy,
good. Yes,
it's nutty, it's got flavor. Yeah. Compared to the raw quinoa, you won't have as much flavor. So really, just like cooking rice, I'll throw this in the pot with a little bit of water. You could use chicken stock if you wanted more flavor, but this is a simple dish. The flavor's coming from the rest of the ingredients. I've got some vegetables that I've grilled. We grill these, we marinate them. Extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and the fresh herbs that you see here. Fresh thyme, fresh rosemary. I use some chives. I'll marinate those for about an hour, put them on the grill, and then I dice them up. So got a nice little grilled flavor. The marinade goes into the vegetables. You have some flavor there. I'll cook my quinoa, my toasted quinoa, with some water, and this is what it looks like when it's cooked. It's a nice, it looks a little bit like couscous, like the small couscous pearls. It's really nice, and it's one of my favorite salads. You can have it hot or cold. Either way, this is kind of a cold dish. It's more of a salad.
So you take it to work and put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, it'll be fine for a couple of days, and you can snack on it. Again, this is healthy. This is literally, your body craves the amino acids, and there's very minimal fat. A little bit of olive oil to marinate the vegetables, and a tiny bit of olive oil to toast the quinoa. Really, that's all I need to do. So I take, again, my fresh herbs. I emphasize that on all of the dishes. We're not using salt. I'm not seasoning anything here. If you wanted to, that's up to you. You can use a salt shaker if you want.
Yeah, personally, I don't have high blood pressure, so I can eat a little salt, but I know some people have that issue.
Yeah, and I think you commented earlier that even without salt, there's tons of flavor. And I think I agree with that. It's why the meals are kind of designed this way, because there are so many little ingredients that are going to bring out the flavors. So for the quinoa, once it's cooked, I'll cool it down. This is now nice and cold. It's been in the cooler. And I'll put about a quarter teaspoon of fresh rosemary, a quarter teaspoon of fresh thyme, and about a quarter teaspoon of chives, a tiny bit of black pepper. I will leave the salt out. Add some roasted red and yellow peppers.
Yeah, I was just thinking that this is really good for vegetarians.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this is a vegan dish. There's no animal product at all. I've got some grilled carrots, some yellow squash and zucchini, and some roasted mushrooms. These are creminis. And all we're going to do is just mix these together with the quinoa.
That looks really good.
It is really good. I mean, and again, I told you earlier that I cook very light-handed with the salt. At home, I like a little salt, so I would probably season this up a bit more, but I leave that to you. If you want to take this home and you want to add some salt to it, that's fine. You can always add it. You can't really take it out. So essentially, that's it. It's a very simple dish, but it takes time to create. You've got to spend the time to marinate and grill the vegetables and chill the vegetables and dice them and toast the quinoa, chill the quinoa. It takes an hour or two to make this dish, but we make it every day. All you have to do is think ahead, hey, I want to order some meals, call us, and you get this meal that I made just like I did today.
Try this dish. I'm sure it's very good. Wow. This is excellent. What's the website again?
FitHealthyFoods.com. We also are on Facebook. You can go to the website, look at our menus. We have over 100 entrees to choose from. So not only do we have fresh and good food, we have a large variety. Fit Healthy Foods, 224-900-9999999. Just keep it 99.